5 years ago, Andrew Pelham resigned as the head coach of Réal Jaen. Today, with a little bit of help, we're going to take a look and see how the team is doing. I'm not going to make predictions on this. I could be wildly off. I could be wildly wrong. But I hope they've had some success. Let's find out. My name is FM20. It's time to get real. I'm going to move myself over to the left. I had tech support come and save the game as this. I have not looked at this. And actually, he's going to help me out off. I'll transition the stuff out. He's going to help me out by going back to the beginning. And we'll take a look at everything together. This will be the first time I'm seeing this. This is the next day. This ran last night. And we'll go from there. Let's see. Man United, Milan, Barcelona's looking for a coach. Okay, you know what? Let me get tech support over here, and we will look and see where they are. Well, they've been doing really well since we left. They've won the league a couple of times, second and third. What I'm interested in is down here. Simone Inzaghi is the head coach. How long has he been here? A year. He took over for Stefan Baumgart, who was here almost 4 years. 2 league wins, 2 cup wins. So they won the league 2 more times after I left. I'll be honest, I am more worried about who I am not seeing on the field, but a lot of that could be because of the formation. They still got Shonia, they still got Court. Oosterly's here, where's Tonho? Barbosa's here, Tisevsky's here, Jan's here. Bates is still in goal. Pereira's still here. Looking in the trophies, there's no Champions League or Europa League or anything like that. Okay, come help me navigate to the transfers, okay? Well, I knew this was going to happen. This was the summer I left. New ownership took over, and the new president said he was going to bring in Miguel Corte and Tomas Shonia, and he paid a ton of money for them. An Jae-hong was actually my signee. He's a South Korean who came in on a free. One of my scouts found him. I have no idea who Paul Lene is. I did not sign him. Oh, look, another winger. They let Robert Maria go to Man City for $121 million. Ahmed Uche went to Liverpool for $89 million. Antonio Augusto went to Inter for $38 million. Vaclav Hrvanik went to Inter for $76 million. So they made up their money, but they took arguably Carlos Roberto's our best striker. They took our second best striker, our first best defender, our second best midfielder, and Hrvanik could have been a starter, and he probably is a starter on Inter. On our squad, we were deep enough in the positions he played. He was the super sub who came in. I mean, he's still got 98 games with us and 13 goals in 6 years. In 5 years at Inter, he's had 108 appearances and 1 goal. We didn't play defensive mid. We played a defensive center back. That's where he was, and he also played midfielder from time to time. So for a guy we picked up for $13 million to turn around and sell him for 76 is good money, but it did weaken the team a little bit, I think. How's Maria doing? He's kind of falling off. He had 3 really good seasons at Man City. 22 and 33, 18 and 34. He must have been injured this year. 6 and 28, 29 years old now. Still a solid striker. Definitely an elite striker. 99 international caps. Uche went to Liverpool. Solid seasons. Looks like he's falling off as well. He's become more of a part-timer. But those are still credible performances. Augusto is a coach now. He wants to be a fitness coach, not with a 2. He was a part-timer at Inter. Then he went to Palmeiras. They fobbed him off on Palmeiras in Brazil. He was there for 2 years. Then he was at Al Duhai in Qatar. And then he retired. And this guy was the backbone of our midfield for the longest time. 16, 18, 14, and 11 assists. And we already took a look at Hrvanik. So, if they got rid of Roberto, so the next season, God, your Veerman went to Inter for 129 million. Jaen, they loaned out on Burnley for 150,000 a month. Marcin Janusek went back home. Veerman was my midfield super sub who could also play forward as well. He's had some good seasons. Go ahead, buddy. You're fine. He had 22 assists the season after I left. Wow. Who did they bring in? Kyriakis Angelakousis is a defensive center back, so he's Uche replacements. Yegor Sedov is a striker. He's probably a depth signing. I don't know that he's still here. There's a familiar name. He's here, but he's a backup. We brought back Georgi Barnabashvili. He's 34 now. Good grief. So he was with us for a little bit. We sold him to Valencia. Valencia turned around, sold him to Schalke. Schalke turned around, sold him to Roma. And we turned around and bought him back. So we got him for 4.8 million originally from Krasnodar and paid 21 million to get him back a few years later. He's one of those defensive center backs. He's a defensive center back who can also play the other 2 positions fairly well. So, you know, physically he's solid. Technically, he's solid in the areas that count. Mentally, he's pretty good. I don't know that I would have brought him back, though. The club had a philosophy of not signing players over 30. And he kind of beat that just by a little bit. Luc Thibert is defensive right back. Leonardo Pereira is the midfielder from Bayern. We turned around and sold him to Napoli. I wonder if he was playing midfielder. And then Timothy Weber from Anderlecht is a pretty good goalkeeper. 24.5 million for backup, especially when we had Aguilar on the bench. Okay. Gerasimov went to United for 114 million. They sold Corkin to Chelsea for 20.5. We lost money on that. Barry Sears from Hoffenheim for 51 million. He's a defensive center back. Lucas Gil Segovia, another backup striker. He's valued at 71 million. So he is up top somehow. 20 goals and 27 appearances. Or he's playing on the right. Corte is a winger who they got playing striker. I know that just from looking at the formation earlier. I know why they sold him. It's because they freaking spent 200 million euros on 2 wingers, but he could also play defensive right back. He's had 2 decent seasons for Man United. At least the team made money on him. Corkin was the guy we brought in last season. Solid defensive center back when he wasn't injured. They sold Pisano for 36 million euros. Are you kidding? Wow. That is wow. Okay, they sold Kleber. They sold Kleber to Roma, which after they signed all the players they signed at advanced midfield on the right was to be expected. And he's a part-timer there, and we totally lost money on him. They sold Barnabashvili, or they loaned Barnabashvili at Granada. Pisano went to Madrid for 36 million euros. Are you kidding me? This kid, he was going to be the replacement for Roberto or Maria if either one of them had left. And he had some really good seasons for us. He goes to Madrid for 36 million, 12 and 31, 14 and 35. 9 caps for the Italians senior squad. That must be recent. This is surprising. Tanho to Tottenham for 157 million. He came across one of the scouting things, and he graded out at like a 75, but he had 5-star potential. And I took a look at him, and I really liked him, so I went to Cruzeiro, and I said, how much for him? They said 22 million. I said, sure. And he had some solid seasons for us, but 157 million euros worth of solid seasons? Well, okay, he turned a performance like this at the midfield. Holy cow. I was sitting on a gem, didn't even realize it. Well, I knew there was potential there, but... And he's on the Brazilian international squad. And this is year 5 right here. Anybody out? Oh, Derlis Aguilar went to Stuttgart. He was the younger version of Bates. That was the year. It was odd. I think I signed Aguilar, and then I had Seferovic. Then Seferovic wanted to leave, and so I went out and saw Bates was transfer listed by request. But he definitely has potential. I mean, he's the freaking keeper for the Paraguayan international squad. He had 5-star potential. They brought in 35-year-old Mikel Villar. Good grief. Some of this is disappointing, but there's some names I didn't see. Carlos Roberto and that amongst them. So let's take a look at the senior squad here real quick. Ari Thunason is still here. He's a back... Well, yeah, he's the starter on the left, but he's not the full-time starter because we resigned here. This is a solid season. Damian Jaen is still here, but he's playing defensive left back. That's fairly solid. Tisevsky's playing right back. He's turned into a good attacking fullback. Kerma's still here, but he's not the starter. I would have thought he would have been the starter. Psycho Barbosa's still here. Solid defensive center back. He essentially Uche's replacement. He was worth the 86 million we paid for him. Ryan Bates is still between the sticks. Solid keeper. He was 4-star current, 5-star potential when we left. So Miguel Corte is one of the players that was brought on the year I left. And those are some good stats, but those aren't... I don't know that he got those playing winger. I mean, this is an absolutely brilliant season here. 38-39. We got to remember that. Tomas Shonia. That's decent, but I don't know. That's 147 million euros decent. Pereira. Solid season. Very solid season. Very solid career here. Oosterly. That's not too bad. I don't know that they're playing him at defensive center back, or the assist would lead me to believe that he's playing midfielder. And he is, that's what we noticed earlier. Carlos Roberto, how's he been doing? He's turned into a spot starter. But 22 and 32, 25 and 34, 21 and 34. So they were still playing two at the top. Because there's no way both he and Corte had those goals if they were playing a one formation, a one striker formation. I don't think that's possible. I wonder, let me see something here. History, head coaches, Baumgart. He had to have played a two at the top. Either something like a 4-2-2, maybe he kept the 4-2-4. So the club philosophy must have changed, because when I was there, they didn't want you signing anybody over the age of 30. And we had the youngest squad. We had the youngest starting 11 for the longest time in La Liga. This is not the youngest squad in La Liga anymore. By a long shot. If I add on the U19 and the B squad as well, Jose Miguel Gil was the last good player in our youth intake. He was the last player in our youth intake who could have potentially turned into somebody. He was 3.5-star potential. Anhe Zhang is the guy my scout kind of wandering the world found, but he's been relegated to the B squad. He's got he's got some mental skills and some technical skills. Physically, he's not good enough for La Liga, though. I mean, Ari Thuneson, Damian Yan, and Robert Tasevsky are my youngest starters, and they're 25. So, they finished second this year. You know what? We can go back and look. Wow. How did that? So, they tied with Barcelona. They lost to Barcelona. That's why they're in second, even though they have a better goal differential. That's really wild. Competition reputation's fallen down too. And when you look over here, you can see they won it the year I retired. So let's go back to that real quick. So this was my last year. This one we pipped Barcelona on the last day. This was the next year. They won by 5 points their first season under Baumgartner with 98. They fell off to third here, but Madrid beat Barcelona. It seems like everybody kind of had an off here. When a team doesn't get over 90 points in La Liga, that's kind of an off here, I suppose you could say. Barcelona beat us by 10 points. We beat Madrid by 12. 37-38. We won this year. I'll have to look at the schedule. Did we pip them again on the last day here? And that was this season. So if we look at the schedule, I don't know what happened. We didn't play Barcelona. We beat Barcelona here, but it wasn't enough apparently. Copa del Rey final. We won that. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go. I'm gonna skip that. I'm not paying attention to anything else. So this was our last season. This was the loss to Arsenal. So I'm going to filter out all the regular stuff. Calm down. I am. It's okay. Oh, what's up? Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. I fixed the clock in here. I thought it did too, but I looked up when I was getting ready to go get him and it said 10:30. I had a minor moment of panic. Yeah, it'd be about 10-15 minutes. So this was a year after we left. Vitesse, Lazio, Benfica. In the group stage, we got out. Lost in the Supercopa in extra time. Lost in the Copa del Rey 5th round. Got knocked out by PSG. On penalties. Because they equalized. We scored 3 goals at PSG. They scored 3 goals at Jaen. And we got knocked out on penalties. Next season, Osijek, Liverpool, and Red Star. And we didn't get out of the group stage. Can we go back? Red Star pipped us. So we went down to the Europa League. Beat Everton, beat Napoli, won the Copa del Rey, beat Milan, and lost to Lazio in the final. Pisano scored a goal, but we got pipped. That's frustrating. Aberdeen, Krasnodar, Red Bull, Salzburg. We dominated the group here. Lost to Barcelona in the Supercopa semifinal. Got beat by Schalke in the first knockout round. No, we beat Schalke. I'm looking at that wrong. Got beat by Inter in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And lost to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. Basel, Napoli, Hertha BSC. Got out of the group, no problem. Lost to Atletico in the Supercopa semifinal. Got beat by Man City in the first knockout round. Good grief. I sense that there's a theme here. Won the Copa del Rey. In the last season, Liverpool, Dinamo Zagreb, Red Bull Salzburg. Got out of the group. Beat Lyon in the first knockout round, 7-1 on aggregate. Beat Madrid in the quarterfinals, lost to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, and Inter beat us again in the semifinal. So this is the farthest the team got. Was the semifinals. So 2 Copa del Rey wins and 2 league wins. Go up here real quick. So Man United is looking for a coach. They finally sacked Solskjaer. He's unemployed. He was fired as the head coach of Liverpool. He's bounced around quite a bit. Good grief. Jurgen, what's Jurgen up to? He's retired. retired. And for some reason, it's not keeping his history. I may not have clicked it. I do want to look at Helio real quick. He's still at PS. I came out of nowhere, sorry. He's still at PSG. Look, he had 48 goals in 88 games for us. So if you multiply that by 3 to get close to what he's had at PSG, he was scoring more goals for us. And this is still a solid career. But, yeah. If only we could have kept him. But if we'd kept him, we wouldn't have had Roberto. So, I'm okay with that. This is annoying. We still haven't had any Champions League success. But we're doing really well otherwise. Can't complain about that. So, what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead 5 more years. We're going to take it to 2045-46. As George barks at somebody walking by the window upstairs. And see if this improves. See if any of these are still here. Club culture, strive to make progress on and off the pitch. I wish it would go... Europa League runner-up. This is where Xavi Santos took over. Good academy coaching, good youth recruitment. Top facilities. Great, you got a... This was annoying. I could never get one of these. So what we're going to do now is... We're going to go on vacation. And we'll come back in 5 years to see what happens. So it's been that was interesting. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm glad we won the league, and I'm glad the team remained competitive. I've seen cases before where I left as a coach and the team just absolutely nosedived, and a lot of that's formational. I think the best example of that would be my 2017 save at USL Dunkirk. At the end, I was playing that 3-4-1-2. I broke out a few times here. And I had the personnel for it, I had the squad for it, I had the backups for it. It was a situation where if push came to shove, I could change that 3-4-1-2 into a 4-2-4 no problem, with 9 out of the 11 players I had on the field. And the next head coach came in playing a 4-2-3-1 and sold off a couple of players that didn't fit that, who fit the 3-4-2-1 and the 4-2-4 really well. And Dunkirk never really recovered. They won the league once after that. They came close to winning the Champions League a couple of times. But the team never really finished... They finished top 5 more often than not, but it was always like 3rd or 4th. And that was in PSG being PSG. They went out and bought themselves 300 million euros worth of players every year and always finished like 20 points ahead. So, and I've seen it happen before with others too. The Crystal Palace save, there was something similar to that. My Anfield Town save, it was similar to that. Even Milan was similar to that. I come in, I play a formation that's not exactly standard, like a 4-2-4 or a 3-4-1-2. The next coach comes in playing like a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 and starts buying and selling players, like happened here with Corte and Shonia, and the team just falls off a little bit. But I'm glad we've lifted the La Liga trophy since I've left. I wish we were doing better in international competition, though. Although coming close to winning the Europa League would have been a nice feather in the team's cap and a nice bit of silverware for the team's trophy case. So, but we are forwarding ahead 5 years. Roberto's probably going to be leaving. Jaen, of the guys still on the squad, Jaen, Tasevski, and Bates are the only 3 I would expect to still be on the team. And of those 3, I would say Bates, because he's a keeper. And unless they get a ton of money for him, I think he's here for the long haul. So, fingers crossed, we'll come back and see what happens. If you did like what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, any questions about what's going on in the future world of Real Jaen, let me know down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM20.